Today we're going to talk about some of the greatest country music crossovers of all time. I'm Marcus K. Dowling, the Nashville country music reporter at the Tennessean. I cover largely the pop country genre. So for country music, the most important thing right now is for the genre to grow its fan base exponentially, and to take a country artist and put them in a space where they are combining with somebody who's more popularly renowned in a more mainstream musical space is the easiest way to do it. So we're gonna start with a performance from this year's most recent CMA Awards, featuring Katy Perry and Thomas Rhett doing Where We Started. People aren't aware, Katy Perry's history in country music goes back to her time in gospel where she was recording in Nashville. So Nashville has been a part of her life, for her entire pop career. When I asked her about doing the collaboration, she's like, well, it's just like I'm coming back home again. For a guy like Thomas Rhett to be at a point in his career where he's able to see the fruits of his labor is something really special. The country music is a very soft spot in its heart for the early 2000s. Country was surging into pop relevance. Faith Hill and Tim McGraw and artists like that were having major moments. And pop music as well was selling more music than ever before. So all of those stars, that include Katy Perry, have incredible reach into the country realm because country and pop, for the first time in their generation, were working together simultaneously in the pop space. So what we have next is a beloved crossover collaboration of mine from 1969. Johnny Cash with Ray Charles doing a version of Ring of Fire. So about a decade prior to this performance, Ray Charles released an album called Modern Sounds of Country and Western Music. And that record, for people including like Willie Nelson, they said it was the most important crossover record in the history of country music. Ray retained a relationship with the genre for multiple decades. Everything from this collaboration to, appearing in the Grand Ole Opry, 10 years after that, to recording a number of country albums too. This is just one of those moments where you have to really respect the fact that Johnny Cash understands the value of having Ray Charles on his stage. I mean, the song itself, Ring of Fire, is one of the great anthemic country songs of all time. Like it really speaks to this notion of what love is in a way that's kind of outlaw and a little bit, outside of the realm. Like the moment when he says it burns, burns, burns. Like it doesn't just burn once, it burns 3 times. And it's not delivered because it's a cool hook. It's because he's really trying to convey to you what pain feels like in a very tangible way. And it opened up a whole lane for, 6 decades of country music to, fall right in. So it's amazing. So a conversation about country collaborations wouldn't be complete without a discussion of how rock and roll plays in the country music space. And there's no better modern example of that than Elle King and Miranda Lambert's Drunk and I Want to Go Home. I think that there's something fascinating about the reintroduction of rock and roll into the country music genre, in the sense that we're going all the way back to like Brooks and Dunn and getting back into the red dirt country thing. So that's everything from the Rolling Stones to AC/DC, and there's a space in the middle there that it's timeless now. And there's nothing that speaks to that better than how Elle and Miranda kind of just dive right in and pull out gold. Country music loves to party. So Drunk's popularity is directly tied to the fact that emerging from COVID-19, people really wanted to go to bars, especially country music fans. And the song is so dialed in to a very specific desire. And when the lyric is delivered that way and the vocal is in the right pocket, then it just explodes and it does amazing things. So when a song goes 14 times platinum, it changes the lives of the musicians who make it, but it also changes the entire arc of a musical genre. Florida Georgia Line's collaboration with Nelly for Cruise is a song that did all of those things. Yeah, that's a hit. It's bop, as the kids would say. Like everything about rap and trap especially is in that song, and everything that you like about 90s country songs is in this song. It is actually perfect. Nelly's from St. Louis, Missouri. If you understand any one thing about St. Louis, Missouri, to be a rapper in St. Louis, you have to play a lot of shows where the other artists on the bill are all country artists. So in order to be successful, you have to know country music and what appeals to the country fan base. On the flip side of that, Florida Georgia Line come from a background of playing country music in college bars for people who just want to party, and when they're not playing country music, they're listening to mid-2000s hip-hop. So it's perfect. That's not something that people think about, but it's certainly something when they hear Cruise that they feel. Beyonce is an artist who is bigger than music. She was also born in Houston, Texas. So that makes her readily aware of the fact that, well, country music rules everything. But she puts a song like Daddy Lessons on an album, and the chicks decide to cover it. Then the Country Music Association really isn't left with too many options but to put Beyonce on the stage with the chicks in order to have an award performance that is surprising on multiple levels. The space for women in country music has been notable since around like 1971, when there were more female #1 artists in country music than there were men. This moment on this award stage was the fulcrum point that started to really turn the knob again towards a place where female artists could be seen and heard authentically in a pop and rock and jazz and hip hop and country space. In and around 95, 96, 97, when Atlanta becomes the new Motown of the South and takes the pinnacle lead of where hip hop culture is headed, then you could easily take that and dive it directly into where 90s country was headed as a pop musical genre. And that is the moment where hip hop really gains its foothold in what country music is making, what country music is saying culturally, and then what it's doing on the charts. Like, I'm wearing gold chains for a reason, because hip hop is a part of this thing. And there's one thing about being able to open the door to greater marginalized people representation in country music. But the bigger thing, I think, and the thing that speaks to every single day that I wake up right now, is to be able to not just open up the door, but to pull up another chair to the table. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And check out more videos here on the official CMA YouTube channel.